Weather Xtreme video. This is for Monday morning, the 18th of January. I'm James Spann. Very cold, frigid air to deal with today. A hard freeze tomorrow morning with teens likely. We warm up later this week. Maybe a touch of freezing rain up in extreme North Alabama Wednesday morning. Maybe thunderstorms Thursday. Everything in here but the kitchen sink. So here we go. Cold look on the water vapor satellite view. Big trough over the eastern U.S. pulling down what for some will be the coldest air so far this season. These are the numbers as we start the day. 22 in Decatur, 27 for Cullman, Birmingham 30. These numbers aren't going to rise much. I think many folks up in the Tennessee Valley will stay below freezing all day. And for Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, Gadsden, highs only in the mid to upper 30s, despite the fact that the sky will be sunny. And you can see the core of this frigid air is over the upper Midwest, where they are way below zero to start the day. We've got wind chill advisories in effect for that region, the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes. And other than that, things are pretty quiet, but the things get very interesting for parts of the east and northeast U.S. late this weekend, over the weekend, as you'll see. It's going to be a fun forecasting week for our friends in places like Washington and Baltimore and New York. All right, this is the rain for the next 5 days, valid through Saturday morning. Pretty good numbers. This is 1 inch or more for most of the state. The heavier totals over northeast Alabama. So, as we always do, we'll take it on a daily basis. We'll start with today at noon off the GFS. This is the 06Z run at 500 millibars, troughing over the east. Very cold and dry today. Again, the GFS is printing 37. The NAM 38 is the high for Birmingham. Those are the anomalies. You can see it's very cold over the eastern half of the nation. Tomorrow we stay dry. Now, tomorrow morning we go down in the teens. Looks like most locations will see a low between 15 and 19 around here. For many, the coldest morning of the season so far. So get ready for a hard freeze. And then during the day tomorrow, we'll start to warm up a little bit with low and mid-40s. That's still pretty cold, but not as bad as today. Now, Wednesday, we begin to see the chance of precipitation. And the question is, what happens up in extreme North Alabama? This is coming off the NAM at 9 o'clock Wednesday morning. And this is showing a pretty nasty freezing rain setup maybe for Nashville. So if by chance you're traveling there, confidence is pretty high. Freezing rain is likely for several hours. And with the cold air in place, now that could easily glaze roads and bridges and make for a skating rink. So again, from the Tennessee state line north up into southern Kentucky around Bowling Green, that's potential for some pretty nasty icing. Now, for the Tennessee Valley, Huntsville, the Shoals, Scottsboro, it's a very close call. The models typically don't handle this kind of an air mass very well, and it could begin as freezing rain there. It's a very close call. And I would say it's too early to make right now, but just be aware there is some potential for a brief window of freezing rain over far North Alabama Wednesday morning. We'll just leave it at that. Now, this is noon on Wednesday, and this is coming off the GFS, and we begin to see some rain here. We'll forecast a chance of light rain for Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, Gadsden Wednesday, with temperatures in the upper 40s. There's no risk of any icing down here where we are, just a cool type light rain. And again, Wednesday at midday for travelers, notice potential for winter weather mischief over maybe North Georgia, north of Atlanta, up in the mountains, up into East Tennessee, the Great Smokies, and points north. Now, this is Thursday. The sky will stay cloudy, and we have a pretty good southerly flow, so the day will be warmer. A good chance we see temperatures up in the 50s. There's a surface low that's forming around the Arklatex. Thursday night at midnight, the surface low, if this verifies, is located near Haleyville in northwest Alabama. And this would be just a good soaking rain for much of our state Thursday into Thursday night. Maybe some thunderstorms involved, no severe weather. And, of course, our friends in Arkansas are watching with interest in that they might have a pretty decent little winter weather event. Maybe Memphis with this. Now, watch what happens on Friday. This is Friday at noon. The surface low moves over to Asheville, North Carolina. And if this verifies, understand this could be a big snow event for Washington, D.C. and Baltimore at that point. The wraparound moisture in the cold air suggesting the rain changing to snow for Nashville and then ultimately down into North Alabama. But traditionally at a setup like this, the window for the changeover does not last long, and we typically don't have a lot of problems with any accumulation or impact. And I'd say that the odds of having impact for Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston are low. But there could be a few snowflakes on the backside of this departing storm Friday or Friday night. Let's take a look at the European. It's pretty similar. This is Thursday night at midnight. And then this is Friday at noon. It doesn't show quite as much moisture on the backside. And again, we just don't think this will be a big impact event for us. We'll look at the snow projection. This is snow down Friday at midday. And you can see potential for maybe some decent snow with this thing for Memphis and Nashville. And the snow begins to increase over Virginia and West Virginia. And again, that's the look coming off the European at midday Friday. All right, this is Friday night at midnight. 987 millibar load at the mouth of Chesapeake Bay. Wow. You talk about a high-impact winter storm if this verifies. And then Saturday at midday, that thing is east of the Jersey Shore with a huge snowstorm for the northeast United States. So you can see why this is going to be a fun forecasting week for Washington and Baltimore and Philly and New York and Boston. And then Sunday at midday, it's out. And I should mention for the weekend here, we're just cool and dry. The high Saturday would be in the 40s. The high Sunday would be in the 50s for us. So, no impact from this thing here. Let's look at the snow totals coming off the GFS. And this is at midday Sunday. And again, you can see, and again, you see some gray over Alabama, but understand we don't expect any significant snow here. Our weekend will be dry, sunny with a warming trend. But the big numbers, D.C., Baltimore, New York City, Boston. I mean, they could be buried if this verifies, and this is the European, and quite frankly, it's even more aggressive up in that region. It's a little farther to the coast, but still, that is a whopper, and it's, I think it's too early to start talking numbers and locations here, but clearly just be aware for travelers, there's potential for what could be a huge snowstorm at the end of the week and into the weekend for the Northeast Corridor. All right, Monday, moisture tries to come back. That suggests maybe a touch of light rain and no cold air. We'd be up around 60 if this is right. But if you want some more fun, let's go out to the middle of next week. This is Wednesday, the 27th. Look at the trough digging down through here. And another one on the GFS. Another potential big northeast winter storm, and the same thing for us, maybe some wraparound flurries. But we all know at this point, this is nothing but voodoo. We got to get through storm number one before we deal with that for our friends up in the Northeast. We'll check the teleconnections. The Arctic Oscillation tries to go more neutral later this month, and hopefully that'll shut off the flow of this kind of air we have today, and the NAO goes neutral as well. And understand, you can have winter mischief with these things being neutral or positive. It just makes it a little harder for some of the cold air to get down in here. Numbers coming off the ensembles, and you can see toward the end of the month, if this is right, temperatures warm up a good bit with potential for 60s by the 1st of February. But for the snow lovers here, there's a long way to go. I remind everybody some of the biggest snows down here in the Deep South have occurred in March and the first week of April. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream or the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.